Hello, GM. You're muted, Celine. I don't know if you're speaking.
Ah, yeah, of course, I was speaking for nothing.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just like to wait. Let's just wait a bit. Wow, that's gonna be complicated decision. All good. That's fine. So I'm removing note taker as usual. No bot here. All right. Yes, and I will put a message. Uh, to say we are live. All right. We are live. Ooh. Hope you enjoy the session yesterday. If you have any issue, don't hesitate to ping me. Um, Normally all people who filling the onboarding form are actually into the Notion, but I will just send again the Notion in case of. Uh, like this, you have access to all alpha.
Mhm.
Ooh, so like just in case of. All right. Um. So I put a message. Some people will just arrive. Like I think we will be around 35, 50 something. Yeah, 40 or something like this. And it's actually the first time they will experiment Farcaster because they are totally new into Web3, but they already heard about Farcaster because a few, uh, I was a bit choked. Yeah, a few already got an account. And I was like,
Oh, nice.
what the fuck? That's amazing. Yeah. Yes, feel free to put your profile. So on my side, I will do like a starter pack, so you will be able to follow everyone in one click. No worries. Right. Yes, Limuni. Yeah. All right. Um. So about the agenda, I put something into our chat, which is related to, yes. First of all, we want to show you that how you can create like an account. I don't remember if right now we need a link, an invitation link or whatever, or like pay $5 or I don't know what's because everything just changing.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't have an invite code, I'm not sure if they are still running some, how can I say, like they used to run some like regional free onboarding. I'm not sure if there are any countries still in that process. Um, they're working to have like the onboarding free for everybody, but I know that it's not live yet. So either you got an invite code, and I'm not sure, Celine, if you Ted sent shared some with you.
So I asked her, and I'm waiting for the reply because last time we have done that. So I got some code, free code, free access code for the community. But I
Mhm.
also have like I pay myself, I don't know, $100, something like this, to provide some code for the community. Um, so I have like 20 invitation, something like this. So. Feel free to ping me after the session or during the session to say, yes, I want a Farcaster account and I will provide you an invitation link. Just ping me on Telegram. My Telegram. Let's send again. Ta-ta-tac. Wait. Is that Telegram? Just ping me on Telegram. I don't know what's my link. All right. So yes, probably if you can share your screen, or if I can do it. Otherwise, it's like more to showcasing the platform itself. Like actually, as I mentioned, a lot of people from DevTupac already have an account on Farcaster because they are also experimenting some stuff like creating mini apps. So we will talk about that right now, like what is Farcaster itself, and you we will go into the social feed to explore how to really navigate into mini apps on Farcaster. So yes,
Yeah,
let's start right now with what is Farcaster.
amazing. Let me share my screen so that it's also visual. I think it's better.
Sure.
Uh,
Totally every
oh,
time.
I think I need to allow. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. So Farcaster is a, first of all, I'm Limone.it, Farcaster builder, Web3 builder, running a community in Rome. So in the past 3 years, we've been working and educating and onboarding ton of developers in the Ethereum space. And I'm also running a product studio with which we are building consumer crypto application, especially on Farcaster. And let's talk about Farcaster, which is
You forgot
the
to
most
mention
interesting.
something.
Yeah.
Actually, just to let you know, Limone is one of the best builder inside the ecosystem. So it is really, I think it's one of the best also educator in the sense of being straightforward, like abstract all complexity. So you can build like consumer application pretty fast, thanks to Limon, Limone itself. And on Talent Protocol, I think you are like two or third. I don't remember, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see that.
I've been not been checking. Oh, I need to sign in. I'm not sure if. Oh,
Oh,
I'm fourth now. I'm
oh,
fourth.
yeah. So we have a top five builder inside the ecosystem here. So don't hesitate to to ask any question.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have my Farcaster account. I'm also in the Telegram chat, always by limone.it. So for any question, doubts, ideas, feedbacks on your project, like feel free to reach out. I'm happy, super happy to help. And thank you for the nice words, Salim. Appreciate your work as well a lot. Yeah, I mean, about Farcaster, it's a decentralized social network, but why does this matter? Because on traditional social network, you're like the relationship between a creator, a user, and their followers, their connections on the platform is intermediated by a centralized entity that we trust. We are trusting X, WhatsApp, even Telegram, all these platforms that we use on a daily basis to allow us being in touch with our friends, our co-workers, our connections in general online. And of course, that comes with the potential issues because it's up to them to allow us being in touch with them. It might happen that they ban you, they suspend you, and especially if you're, building maybe a business on these social networks, if you're using it like for work reason, it might impact you very, very bad. And the main thing about Farcaster indeed is like they are trying to disintermediate these relationships between creators and their audience. Again, when I say creator, it's any kind of user in the platform that is just, sharing thoughts, reaching out to their friends, co-workers, whatever. And how are they doing it? Like they are building this social network on top of Ethereum. So every account is an Ethereum wallet behind the scenes that is owning the profile. So in my case, on my wallet, I am the owner of limone.it. This is my handle, my username. And together with my username, I also get an FID. The FID is my ID in the network. So as long as anybody can claim that same ID and username. I'm the only owner of this account, and so I'm the only one that is able to publish content with this account, read content from other valid accounts. That's exactly like what they're trying to do. So there's no way in which the Farcaster company, Merkle is called, Merkle Manufactory, can stop me from accessing my profile, my identity, and my followers. This
Yeah,
because then even the content, the followers, the reactions, they are not really on chain, so they are not stored on the blockchain but they're stored on a distributed database. So there's not one single database. What's happening there?
all
There's
invitation.
Oh, nice. There's not one single database where Merkle and Farcaster is storing this data, but it's a bunch of, much like Ethereum as a set of nodes that is syncing the network, validating the transactions. The same thing kind of happened with Farcaster, where there are multiple nodes storing the data about my content, my followers, who is replying to my content, who is reposting that. And for this reason, like there's no single point of failure. There's nobody that can prevent me in accessing my audience and my friends, because even if Farcaster XYZ, this website, which also has a mobile app, even if they want to prevent me on accessing, my own page and going here and clicking like whatever, because they ban me, there could be another client that is reading from the same decentralized and open data structure, such as Coinbase Wallet. Coinbase Wallet is one of the latest Farcaster clients. So on Coinbase Wallet, for example, you can link your Farcaster account, and this means that if Farcaster XYZ suspends me, bans me, I can still post on Farcaster and read stuff on Farcaster, even if on the actual client I cannot do it, and that's how they are disintermediating this relationship basically.
Yeah, and in Web3, as you mentioned, like in fact, on my side, I saw a lot of brand accounts, like company accounts that have been banned from X for useless stuff. And so actually Farcaster is a real great option because you can never be banned. So it's pretty nice.
Exactly.
A lot of companies are right now using Farcaster into the ecosystem.
Exactly, and you can compare it to email. How does email work? It's built on an open protocol, SMTP, simple message. Yeah, I don't remember the actual, but it's the protocol running, all the email servers, and I can use multiple clients. I can use Gmail. I can use Outlook. I can use, I don't know, Yahoo, like different interfaces. But with these interfaces, I can contact any of my friends, regardless of where I'm contacting them from, because like the protocol in which they are on which they are built is open. It's kind of like the same thing for Farcaster in here. How does it work? So Farcaster XYZ again is the main client. You have a home feed like very similar to Twitter. You have your notifications tab where people can mention you. You can check like what's happening. You have direct casts, which are private messages. You can explore users, channels. Channels are actually something different from Twitter, because like Twitter doesn't have it. It's very close to um, maybe like similar to the Reddit experience, where you can have channels dedicated to specific topics. So there's one channel that is called founders. So people in here can post, I mean, everything, but usually they post content that is related to the founders topic. There's one about base, there's one for product, there's one even from Italy. So whenever I'm posting something about my country, my city, stuff that we organize, I'm using this channel because people can follow specific channels, and according to what they follow, the home feed will be different, because again, on this feed I'm not only seeing people just casting without any channel like here, PROSB, but I can also see people casting in specific channels, and according to
Ah,
which channel
what
I'm
is
interested
casting?
in.
What is casting?
What?
What is
Ah,
casting?
casting. Sorry.
It's like tweeting.
Uh, Casting is like tweeting. Yeah, sorry. And retweet. It's recast. Because on Farcaster, that's the caster part took over the the tweet part. The most interesting thing that we're also deep dive apps, and why they're interesting, because much like on Facebook we had mini applications and games, on Forecaster you have applications embedded in the feed, in the social graph. And how does that work? So there's this game that I built that is called Farville. And the cool thing about these mini apps is that whenever somebody shares a mini app link on the feed, it renders as a dynamic embed. And this means that I'm simply scrolling the feed, I'm seeing an image, it's like a preview image, and I can click on it, and this is opening the mini app. So
Yeah.
I'm already in here, ready to use it.
If I can say something about it, is like, for example, on X, when you are posting like a link, you can't see any like you
Preview.
can't interact with it. I mean, you can click on it and then be redirected externally to an external link to play with the page. But on Farcaster, the thing is you can stay into the social feed and then play apps, run application, etc. Smoothly without having um, to quit the feed itself. So it's really, really powerful, and that's why a lot of um, current application in Web 2 or in Web 3, whatever, are going to Farcaster.
Yeah, because first of all, on Twitter, like the Twitter company is not incentivized to having you going to another website. They're interested in having you on their website to capitalize on your attention, right? And so any link that you post there not only is impacting negatively you in the algorithm for the feed, but it's also like minimized. So they really don't want you to click on a link and go on an external website. But even if like some of your followers, whoever like is reading your tweet there, let's say you are posting about this new app or product that you just built, or maybe like your latest YouTube video, whatever, um, still they need to click on the link and go on an external website. While the powerful thing about Farcaster is that not only they are completely neutral to links, actually they incentivize a lot like posting links and these embeds. But if you build a mini app, so if you make your decentralized application, your web application compatible with their mini app standard, your users can, like you can easily find users that are scrolling the feed, find a post about your mini app, click on it, and start using it. So it really maximizes your chances in distribution and users traffic, because I don't need to get on an external website. That's one of the probably like the most exciting thing about mini apps is that builders, I think like the greatest problem, the hardest problem that you'll find in your career as a builder, in your experience and journey as a builder, is finding users. You realize that it's not really about understanding how to build something, understanding solidity, how to write an interesting smart contract, or how to implement a feature on your new web app. Because like in the end, you can get there, especially with AI, it's getting like simpler and simpler. What is difficult is finding users and distribution. And without that, in the end, like if you're building something and nobody is using it, first of all, it's not nice for you, of course. You want to build something that is useful. But then, like by having users straight away, like 1 week after you shipped your first project, you can also learn a lot with them, because like having users on your product means that you get feedbacks, you see how they are using it. And so it's a very interesting playground. That's why I really recommend all of you to deep dive into
Yeah.
all of these. And if you don't have a Farcaster account, make sure
Mm.
to create one.
Yeah, sure. It's super, super important. I mean, like since a couple of months, everyone is talking about Forecaster inside the ecosystem because everyone want to have like user into application. So as Limone mentioned, this the best way actually to get user without any marketing campaign and everything. Like it's kinda natural because Farcaster has already like a big user base. Yeah.
Yeah, and getting back to, I mentioned in the beginning, like these mini apps can remind you of like the Facebook games or the Twitter apps as well. So once upon a time on Facebook, I'm sure like many of you have played with Farmville, Pet Society, Happy Aquarium, like all these awesome games within the social context of Facebook. So the cool thing was that you could play a game, an online game with your friends on Facebook. And the same goes for Twitter. Like there were a bunch of applications that, not games in this case, because Twitter is more around, news and this stuff. And all these applications were somehow enhancing and enriching the Twitter experience. What happened is that at some point, these applications were getting too much attention, distribution, and value out of the social networks that the platforms themselves, so Facebook and Twitter, now Meta and X, they decided to kill them. So they stopped supporting these in embedded applications, embedded games, whatever. They started introducing limitations on the API, raising costs for people that wanted to access the API. And so the problem is that these companies and people that started building on their platform, at some point they were kind of rugged. So their service, they were not able anymore to provide the service that they've been building for years. And that's bad, of course. The cool thing about Farcaster again is that it in the end again it's decentralized. So there's no platform risk. If you're building a mini app on Farcaster, there's nobody that can shut you down, right? Um, I already mentioned this. Why mini apps? Distribution is the hardest part of building. You need to maximize your chance in finding users. So launching your app, your product, your idea, your project, whatever, complex, simple, whatever it is, launch it inside a platform with existing users. So it's more likely that people will find you. And in the end, if people find you, you will have faster feedback loops and faster progress. And the cool thing about mini apps is that in the end, they are mini apps. So you don't need to be like very sophisticated about it. Like you need to ship like something quick, something simple, something lightweight, because people like playing these or using like these casual experiences. Why on Farcaster? So there are different mini app platforms. I can think of Telegram, I can think of Word app, and a bunch of others. The cool thing about Farcaster is that first of all, is open and permissionless by design. So you don't need API keys. There are no gatekeepers. You just need the will to start, building inside Farcaster. And there are a bunch of services that can also help you. Farcaster has a rich and open social graph, so you can tap into the social feed and the identity layer that Farcaster brings in, so that people joining your mini app, they are already logged in. They already have an identity. They already have connections on your mini app. Every user is on chain ready. So especially if you're building on chain, on the blockchain, it's super interesting because all the users on Farcaster have an Ethereum wallet. And this means that on-chain actions are really just a click away. You don't need to ask them to connect a wallet, whatever. It's already there. And finally, like Farcaster has somebody defined it like the Singapore of crypto. What does it mean? The user base is actually not that big yet. To Solen's point, there are like around 50,000 daily active user, which is nothing compared to Twitter or Facebook. It's even like nothing compared to Telegram user base, for example. But the cool thing about Farcaster is that this core user base is very engaged, very influential. They have funded money in their wallet, and so they are ready to experiment and try a lot. I think it's the best place where to ship something and get user feedback.
Yeah,
This is
I
these
remember
are
our first session, we talked about how to get product feedback, and you mentioned that it was is Farcaster is the best way to got your like 1,000 first user itself, and iterate with them to make sure your application is great and everything. So that's pretty nice. And I wanted just to mention something is like Farcaster has been created by a really good team behind the project. So it's um, with Dan. Dan was like the VP of internalization of Coinbase.
Coinbase.
So right now,
Yeah.
I don't remember how much they raised to launch Forecaster. Probably 150 million, I guess. Yeah,
That's the last round. Yeah, this is the last round that they made.
yeah, that's pretty huge. So everyone
They,
is
they are
bet
serious.
on it.
Yeah, they are serious about it. And the opportunity is real. So these analytics that you see here are from the game I was just showing you. It's something that we built at Builder's Garden, our product studio. In the last month, we had more than 4 million people, more than 4 million opens. So with 12,000 monthly active users. So it's huge. And I'm sure that if I shipped Farville as a standalone mobile application or a standalone web application outside Farcaster, it will be like super, super hard reaching these numbers. And so I really like recommend you to start looking into these. Like, don't underestimate the importance of having users over um, complexity of your project. Because in the end, like Farville, you can try it out on Farcaster. You'll see it's a simple game. It's nothing like too fancy or complex, but users are making it special. There are a bunch of mini apps, and I can like showcase to you some others. Where is it? Mini apps. There's a mini app tab both on web and mobile. Mini word is a fun one. Is one that is going viral lately. It's a crossword puzzle. So you get like these guess, and you need to type in the words, of course. You have Farcade is another cool game. Actually, an arcade endless scroller somehow. So you see, like these experiences are very nice. Like you can play the daily
Question.
game. You can yes.
Um, so actually, because on my side I'm just using Farcaster wallets on Farcaster. Like, can you, for example, use Privy and just set up another wallet there?
You can use an external wallet. Yeah. Here, I'm not sure why it's not asking me, maybe because I'm not connected, but in here, this is my wallet on Farcaster. You can switch to your external wallet. Not Privy, but you can use, I don't know, Coinbase wallet, MetaMask. I'm using Rabbi. You can use Rainbow. So you can also connect an external wallet, both on mobile and web. So if you go in here on the settings, you'll see that I have a bunch of
Wait.
verified addresses, right?
Mm, yeah. And so
Um,
actually, like just to let you know about on Farcaster, you are incentivized. Like there's like a leaderboard on Farcaster of user that's just posting some content, and so basically they can be rewarded. So I don't remember how many, like probably 1,000 by
so they reward, I think, 30,000. There are two rewards program, and this is another good incentive for you to start being on Forecaster. The first one is for content creators. So they have an algorithm, and you can check it out on this mini app. It's called Rewards, and you can see people being scored according to their engagement. So everyone has a score according to how much they are driving engagement and reactions on the protocol. And there are $30,000 distributed every week. So every Tuesday, the top three in the leaderboard will win $600. The next seven winners 350, and so on and so forth. So if you create interesting content, you can also be paid a lot in here compared to other social networks. The
Question.
other leaderboard, yeah,
If no one
on.
get banned, how does the community regulate bad actors? Is there probably a consensus or anything like this?
What do you mean? Sorry, can you repeat, Celine?
Ah, sorry. How they can ban bad actors?
Yeah, I mean, nobody can be banned on the protocol level. So nobody can be banned from the Farcaster protocol. What could happen is that the Farcaster client or Coinbase wallet client or another client, they can suspend you, they can ban you, but it's only happening on the application. So if you cannot use Coinbase wallet with Farcaster for some reasons, you can still use your same account on this other one because they didn't you can use it here, they didn't ban you or whatever. So there's moderation at the application level, much like um, let's say let's talk about email clients again, Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook. Every client has their own spam mechanism, right? So if I'm on Gmail, they're using their own spam algorithm, so they decide or try to help me filtering out spam, and they are opinionated in the way they do it. If I go on Yahoo, maybe instead of having that all those emails spam, maybe because Yahoo isn't better or they have a different algorithm to recognize spam, I can see those emails, right? So it's up to the client moderating the content and deciding what to show. You know what I mean? It's more clear now.
Yeah, I actually people asking how to build mini apps. As no reason we will talk
Okay.
about it just in like couple of minutes. Like how to from scratch run like create and run a mini app. That's all.
Yeah,
No reason.
the last thing before moving into the actual workshop, there's a developer rewards leaderboard. So if you build cool mini apps, that's also a leaderboard for the top trending mini apps based on transactions, users, and stuff. And they actually reward $5,000 every week for the best mini apps as well. Okay. Cool. I think, Solin, confirm me, but should be enough for an introduction around
Yeah,
Farcaster. Should
I,
we?
I think the introduction to Farcaster was complete. um, but
Okay.
no reason. I think it's just the first time we talk about it, but um, with time you will be used to use it. So that's fine. I will provide
Yeah.
you an invitation at the end of the meeting.
Perfect. Then let's get into it. So, first of all,
Question.
I have a bunch of yes.
Friends, how do I find channel on Farcaster?
Do I? Where do I find? In here on the left on the sidebar. If you're on mobile, it's let me see. It's still on the sidebar, so let me show you. No, this one. If you're on mobile, you click on your profile picture, top left, and these are like my favorite channels. Otherwise, you can also go in here on search. Oh, I don't know where
I found it
actually, I don't
actually
know.
on Explore. I found it on Explore. There's a tab for channels.
Oh, not on mobile, so
On
suggested channels, yeah, or load more channel. I think they've been changing it a while. Cool. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you go on Explore as well, channels, you can find them here as well. There's a bunch of them. Any other question before moving on with the workshop?
No, that's fine. Like for the workshop, if you can showcase like the repo you use, like how to clone it and everything, should be nice. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, there's this repository. Maybe Celine, you can link it in the chat.
Sure.
Farcaster Mini App Starter under Builder's Garden. It's open and public. Feel free to clone it here. It's very basic, but it gives you an head start when building. It's also whole documented, so there's a README that will summarize all the steps that I will be doing here during the workshop. Okay, perfect. Another interesting resource that Solin you can share in the chat is the official mini apps documentation. So if you go on miniapps.farcaster.xyz, you have all the detailed documentation around the SDK, how it works, um, specifications, API references, how about notifications, how about publishing your app on Forecaster, everything that you might need, you can find it also here. Then, what is a mini app, first of all?
Oh, can I say something just before starting?
Yes.
So, we're starting with Farcaster because it's a great way to, as a Web2 developer, to go into Web3 so smoothly. What I mean by that is because actually you don't need to master Web3 development to create application on Farcaster. But with time you will be able to create you can create Web2 or Web3 application. So actually we are doing the process with Web2, just to let you know.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, it's totally correct because in the end, a Farcaster Mini app, as you will see, is a web application. And this web application, you can build in any possible framework you want. It can be React and Next.js. That's my go-to framework. But you can also use plain HTML and JavaScript. You can use Angular. As long as it's a web application, in the end, like what you're seeing in here when you open a mini app, this is a web view. So what's happening here is like Ponder has built a web app that is mobile responsive and it's being rendered inside the Farcaster context. So nothing fancy. So if you're familiar with web development, it's even like super easy. And actually, there are even a bunch of clients, documentation that you can check. Let me see if I find it. To simply convert your website convert web app to mini app. So if you have an existing website that is mobile responsive, you can follow this guide on the Neinar website. I can share it later on the chat. And this is all that you need to have a Farcaster mini app. So it's simply about loading a special SDK from the Farcaster team, and that will make your mini app ready for Farcaster.
For example, I can do one with Dev2Pack where I can allow like to have the mini app into Farcaster with something like join waitlist, for example, a button join waitlist, and then people can join the waitlist of Dev2Pack by this way.
Yeah. You don't need any on-chain interaction. Like you can simply have API calls and start our web development. The only different thing is that you need to instantiate the Farcaster SDK. So it's not even needed to connect a wallet and interact with the blockchain, you know? So that's why I think you're right, Solin. It's one of the best way to start building in the space. So let me walk you through the template that I just shared. It's a Next.js application. So it has an app folder, components folder, where I store a bunch of components. Context is setting up the context for the mini app. It also has a frame wallet context, mini app wallet context. So it's already, in this case, connecting you to the blockchain in case you need any interaction. There's an hook folder where I developed a bunch of React hooks to interact with my API. And then there's a lib folder with a bunch of utility functions.
No worries, you don't have to follow like the coding session in the same time. It's better every time to keep focus on the session, and then after that you can see the recording session. No worries.
Yeah, good, good point, good suggestion. So there are two packages that you need to care about. The Frame SDK, this is the main one, Farcaster Frame SDK, and then Farcaster Frame WAGMI connector. This is needed only if you want your mini app to be interacting with the wallets and the blockchain. So how does it work? On the app, I have a layout with defining a metadata and setting up some providers. Like the providers, if you're not familiar with React and Next.js, they are simply setting up some context that all my pages and components will inherit. There's a Eruda provider, which I'm using to debugging, and I can also show you what's that about. So I will also explain you about all this tooling
Could you
in a second. Yeah.
because where you can enable this developer section, if you can showcase it on settings.
Yes. Good call. So if you go in here, settings, you go in advanced, and you have developer mode here. Okay. Then you have a developer tab also here. So the cool thing is that I can launch the same mini app I was showing you. I can launch it here. So this is the simple. This is exposing my localhost. So the one of the thing about working and testing Farcaster mini apps is that either you deploy them on a remote service like Vercel or Railway, for example, or you create a tunnel and expose your localhost. It's all described in the README. You can use ngrok, or you can set up one with Cloudflare. So basically, you see here tunnel limone.lol. This is pointing to my localhost. So please don't DDoS me. But anyways, so I wanted to show you about Eruda is this little button here that I use for debugging. So it allows me to open up the browser console and network even on mobile. So this is might come like very handy in some cases. So let me stop mirroring. If you never used any tunneling service, you can install ngrok, and then you simply type ngrok http 3000, and this URL here that they generate, this is accessing your localhost. Let me see if this works. Yes, so this is accessing my localhost code. Let's go back to this. And then ngrok is as a free tier. ngrok install. You can download it on Mac, Windows, any type of operating system. So let's get back to it. This is the mini app. I have Eruda also here. I'm not sure why it's not loading correctly, but then there's a mini app provider, and the mini app provider is setting up everything for you. So as long as you have this mini app provider on the code, what this is doing is integrating the Frame SDK, which comes with a context. Here SDK context, and the context is the Farcaster context. So let me show you what's in here. Let me refresh. Yes, context. In the context, what I have the client data. So the client FID is the Farcaster client ID. I can Yeah, another thing that I missed about mini apps is that users can sort of install them, much like you do on the Apple Store. You add a mini app to your collection, and so I can check if a user added it. And then there are notification details. So notification details, as soon as a user adds your mini app, you also get some notification details that you can use to send them in-app notifications. There's a location features, this is less relevant, but then there's a user object. And in the user object, I have their display name, their FID, the location. So it gets that I'm in Rome, my PFP and my username. So I have all the information that I need for the user. And then it's calling the SDK actions ready. This action is crucial because if I remove it, the mini app doesn't load. It's blank. You see, it's not loading because the client is expecting the ready event. And if he doesn't see the ready event, it's not loading. So what we're doing here is setting it ready as soon as we load the web app. So refresh, and this is working. As you can see, yeah, there's a use effect. So as soon as the mini app as soon as the web app is loaded, if the mini app is not ready, we set it as ready. Very simple. There's also an handler asking the user to add the mini app, and you have an action called add frame. This is adding the mini app for the user. And we're also instantiating the Frame Wallet provider. Frame Wallet provider, if you're familiar with WAGMI and Query Client, this is simply connecting you, in this case, to the Cello blockchain, but you can connect here to most of like the AVM chains like Base, Ethereum, Optimus, Polygon. This is the standard setup. Okay.
Yeah, some question.
Solid. Yes.
Some question on the chat, if you can see it.
Let me see. Chat. How can we get the user? What is in What is in Giroc? Where should let's start? Okay, Next.js, is this cursor? Yes, this is cursor, but you can use VS Code or Copilot or anything that you like. ngrok is a tunneling service. Solin, can you share the link to install ngrok in the chat for Krishna?
Yeah, we'll do it now. Oh.
Thank you. How can we get the user wallet? It's through WAGMI. So as I was showing you in Frame Wallet, you have a WAGMI setup. So if I go in the main page, which is here, home, I'm using use account. Use account is a standard WAGMI wallet, let's say, standard wallet connection. So address. You can see here, this is fetching my connected address on Farcaster. Yeah, you can switch wallet, you can use an external one-on-one, but in this case, it's fetching through WAGMI, so nothing fancy. It's like super supported. I'm sure like you will, WAGMI is crucial when building decentralized applications on the blockchain. Is it possible to embed an AI agent? Yes, because this is a standard web app. So you can do anything that you can do on a web app. If you can have you want to build, I don't know, an AI agent where the user types, like GPT, for example, an assistant for something, you can have APIs interaction. You can have an interface where you type a question for the assistant. The question goes to the AI agent and the AI agent replies, and that reply is rendered in the mini app. So you can totally do that. The URL you paste on the URL input field is automatically generated and given to you. Okay, I'm going too fast. Sorry. ngrok. ngrok. As soon as you install ngrok, you want to expose your localhost to the internet. Otherwise, you cannot test your mini app. So it's as simple as localhost. If I go on here on localhost 3000, this URL is not valid. I cannot reach the mini app from localhost. So what we're doing is we install ngrok. It's a tunneling service. And by saying ngrok HTTP 3000, this is exposing my localhost 3000 to the public. Okay, so this URL is auto-generated by ngrok. If I go on it, I go here. This is calling my localhost. It's contacting my localhost through the internet. Okay, and as you can see here, there are a bunch of API calls that are going to that. Is this part clear enough now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you for the clarification for everyone.
Public URL. Yeah, I think I answered all the question. Certain based on RS build. I don't know what's RS build, but I built it from scratch. It's Next.js starter template.
I
Cool.
already sent it, but I will resend it now.
Perfect. So I'll try to go slower on this part. Another crucial thing. So just a recap before moving forward. You have the mini app provider, and this is doing one important thing, setting the mini app as ready. This is the most important thing, otherwise your web app will not load. Okay. So super important. Frame wallet provider, frame wallet context actually here. What is this doing? This is instantiating the WAGMI connection. So if we want to interact with the wallet, we need WAGMI inside our application. If you don't know about WAGMI, you can go on wagmi.sh. It's all documented. It's the main library to interact with wallets in React applications. You can use Vue. There are a bunch of libraries that you can use WAGMI with. But it's the standard. It's the gold standard of Ethereum application, at least. And this is for the initial context. Another important step. So it's about, maybe we can get to this later. So how to sign in within a mini app. So how to authenticate a user, okay? If we go on the home page, this is the main page that you are seeing. Where am I? Sorry, here. Okay. Yeah, this is not working because I'm on tunnel. Oops. Okay, I'm logged in. How is this even possible? So I didn't sign anything. But the application knows that I'm limone.it and this is my wallet. Okay, how is this even possible? So there's this hook that I built. It's called use sign in. Use sign in is used to authenticate the user. There's a bunch of checks. So we want to see before signing in a user if their address is connected. So if their wallet is connected, we want to see that the mini app context is there. If there's no context, it means that we are not in a mini app. We are in a standard web app. Okay. So if I go here, tunnel, limone, log.
Could you
This
explain
is not
what is the
finding.
context? Because
Yeah.
in Farcaster we are talking a lot about context and everything, but
Yeah, it's the same object that I was showing you earlier here. So let me go back to the mini app context. We are logging it, still logging it here. So if I go back on here, context is this object containing the client information and the user information, okay? If there is no context, if context is undefined, it means that we are on web. So if I load this, there's no context. So you will see that, where is it? Console error, failed to load Farcaster context. Okay. And this is again, like the same web app, the same URL. It says failed to load Farcaster context because we are not inside Farcaster. Okay. So whenever we are signing in the user in the mini app, we want to check if the context is instantiated. And then how do we authenticate the user? How do they know that I'm limone.it? there's an SDK function called SDK quick out get token. They are generating a token, JSON web token, that authenticates myself. I get this token, I send it to an API endpoint in my application, as you can see, token and FID. Because again, in context, you have the user and the FID of the user. So once I get this token through quick code, I'm sending it to the API, to the sign-in API. The sign-in API is doing a bunch of checks. So it's getting the Farcaster token, right? It's verifying it. So we want to verify on our backend if the token is valid. Okay, and once it's valid, from the payload that we decode here, there's a record called sub. In the sub, we will have the FID. To understand this better, you can check this quick code documentation. You can see how they implement kind of like the same flow. Get the token, store the token, and use the token to authenticate the user. And then there's also description how to validate the token. You can follow it all here. You can use the ready-made version on my template. Again, what we're doing here is decoding the token, decoding the user information from the FID. That from the token, sorry. We got the FID, which is my user ID on Farcaster. And then what we do to fetch the user data, we call this function fetch user. We pass the FID. Fetch user is calling an API. This API is Nainar. Nainar is the easiest way to start, and it's this documentation here. They have an API reference, a bunch of tutorials, and they have all the APIs that you need, as well as a free tier that you can start using straight away to fetch the user information. So I can search for usernames. I can search by FID. I can read the detail of a cast. I can post a cast. So Nainar is abstracting away the way in which you can read and write content to Farcaster. So I can use it to update my profile on Farcaster. I can use it to read a list of channels, a list of posts. You know, it's all well documented here. What I'm using Nainar for in our template is simply fetching the user. I pass them the FID, Limone, and actually 4461. So I can show you what happens here. An API, Nainar API docs. This is a simple API key. I pass them my FID. So again, if you go on profile, about, this is my FID, right? 4461. I click send, and this is the data that they are returning me. It's all the data about me. They tell me about all my channels, the addresses that are verified, how many users are following me, a bunch of other data. I can also check, for example, number 3. This is Dan Romero. So you can use Nainar to fetch user data and much more. So getting back to it, and stop me if I'm going too fast, please. We are fetching the user data and we are generating a token. This token for them is
Question.
an authentication token.
We need to pay this
question.
API later, right?
It's a free tier to start. Then according to how many API calls you have, of course, you might need to pay. Okay.
Yeah, all good.
Is there any other fee? Is Farcaster ID, so we need to pay later? Yes, but to start, you can use Nainar. You can even avoid using Nainar, but it's much easier, I think, to get started. Let's get back to it. So for the user, we generate a JSON Web Token. The JSON Web Token is a standard used to authenticate API calls. And so we set this token for subsequent API calls. So what happens here is that if we go on the web app, when I call test authentication, this is contacting another API endpoint just to test that everything is fine. So it's calling this um, route called test. And funny thing about this is that I can get the user FID in the call. So in every call, I know who is the FID Farcaster ID calling the API endpoint. And as you can see, um, is my ID 4461. How is this done? There's a middleware. So Next.js implements allows you to declare a middleware that is between the client making a call and the actual application responding. And so on every API call coming, I fetch the out token that I set here. And from the out token, I decode the user FID, payload FID, right? This is how I'm handling authentication. You can like look into it, but it's already built in. So you don't need to bother much. You can start like building first the other parts, and then if you need custom things, you can expand it. All good so far. I think we're also on time, but I want to cover couple other details that are relevant before leaving. Let me see any question.
Yes,
How
in
much?
yes, we again,
Mm,
yes.
okay. Finally, another important thing, how to have your mini app being deployed or visible on Farcaster. So how can you be indexed in here? So how the Farcaster client is fetching the information about my name, my logo, and whatever. There's a thing called manifest. So in standard web application, we have the open graph standard to declare the web app title, the web app description. Here we can also add images, for example, that are shown in the chat or on Twitter if you share a link. For Farcaster, you need to embed a special metadata. It's called FC frame. And this metadata comes with an image URL. So just to show you, if you go on developers, there's an embed tool. If I go on panel limone.lol, you can see the image that I declared here. Okay. You can see the button title, launch app on Celo in this case, but it could be launch app with dev3 pack. So if I refetch, it's launch up with the dev3 pack, right?
Yeah, it's what I was saying, for example, with the waitlist, like instead of having launch app with dev2pack, we can have like join waitlist or something like this.
Yeah. You can have join waitlist, and here you declare the title of your app. This is the action. Don't change it. This is this distinguishing like what the button should do. This is the app URL, and it's tunnellimon.lol in this case. And then you also can configure a splash image URL and a splash background URL. So, and this is happening when, so let's say set it to blue. Okay, so this is blue now. Refresh. No, it's not. Yeah, it didn't refresh. Like this should show. Oh, I need to refresh. Sorry, that's why. You see now this is blue.
Question: how could we cast notification, especially private notification? That's interesting.
Yes. Yes, let me finish up on the manifest and then we'll get to it. So how to
Sure.
declare this information? It's important that you have a Farcaster JSON in your web app. This Farcaster JSON should declare a bunch of information. So you go in here, as you can see, we have this function, get manifest. What does it do? It declares a bunch of two main objects, account association. So we want to know who created the mini app. If I go on Farville, for example, preview, you can see created by Limone It in this case. This is what account association is for. And then you have the frame metadata, and this comes with the icon URL, the home URL, the button title, a bunch of stuff that you can customize to have a better preview of your mini app. And how can you generate it? You go in here, developers, manifests, you set a new manifest. So what's your domain? It's tunnel.limone.lol. What's the name? It's dev3 pack example, subtitle, who educating builders. Description, we educate, I don't know, lorem ipsum. So you set all this information here. You click a category, productivity, splash background, white, okay? And down here you get, oh, let me see what's, submit. When you submit, it creates your manifest. You have the frame and you have the account association, okay? So you get these and you embed it all in here. It can be static, it can be dynamic, as long as you're exporting all this information. Is it all clear about the manifest? So that I'll move on with the last topic, that are notifications.
Yeah, someone asked you, like, because he was thinking that it will be better to use Sky for it, but I just replied that it's better to use a mini app template rather than an application template for that.
Yeah, I think that this is the minimum starter that you need. And again, you don't need to touch anything on authentication. You can just build on top. It doesn't. Then you can import components from Scaffoldit, of course. Scaffoldit template, it's much more complicated than this, I believe, as a starter. Has a lot more components, of course. About notifications, last topic, and then we can drop off. So whenever somebody adds your mini app, the client will call a webhook URL. And as you can see in the manifest, there's also a webhook URL path. So this webhook URL is important because as soon as something happens, the frame, the mini app has been added or is removed, or the user enables the notifications or disables them, you can receive these events. So as soon as somebody adds the mini app, in the event information, you have the notification details. Notification details are important to send notification to the user. So you save them somewhere on a database, on Redis, it can be Postgres, it can be MongoDB. As long as you store it somewhere, you're fine. And then there's a function called send frame notification. This is abstracting, I want to send a notification to FID with a title, body, and these notification details. So it's calling a URL that is coming from the notification details that Farcaster is giving you. It's calling an API, basically passing your title, your body, and targeting a specific user. The user is targeted with a token. And so you can call this programmatically, meaning that you can have, I don't know, schedule a job to send multiple notification, calling this function multiple times for different FIDs. Or you can trigger this function, let's say, after the user logged in. So whenever they log in, they receive a notification. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of mini app notification I'm receiving. So talking about rewards, they sent a notification that rewards are going out in 4 days, or this mini app is saying me in 30 minutes, the mint will be closed. This other one is sending me 22 people already checked in today. Which Farville we notify people about requests or about crops that needs to be harvested. So it's a bunch of things. I think That's pretty much it. I know that it's been a lot, especially since we also did an introduction on Farcaster, but
Yeah, that's why.
if you have any other question, like feel free to reach out to me. You also have a mini apps documentation where you have, if you want to know how to send notification, you can check also these. It's all well detailed. If you don't know how to authenticate your users, you can check these. How to publish your mini app, how to interact with Ethereum wallets. Anything you need is also well described here.
I will just share my screen. Yes, it's like, I mean, this one. I will push here. It just I send it. Like, I mean, it's for mini app ID. Like, if you want to build mini apps, there is like in this document more than 100 mini apps ID that you can create if you want on your own to experiment stuff. And you have to know that also by creating mini apps, you are you have some way to be rewarded through different ecosystem. So yeah, just you experiment for fun on your side whenever you have time, because we're gonna do a lot of mini apps probably during the upcoming months, especially with Base and Celo. So yeah, feel free to take the lead on your side too, and we're gonna have like ideation session to, to make sure you can create apps that are great, and yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, Limone, for this complete session about Farcaster. Hope everyone enjoy it, and I will send you like don't forget to send me a message, and I will send you an invitation. So or free invitation, but you have to know that DevTripAck is covering your account. Um, so yeah, explore Farcaster, and I will add you into a starter pack where everyone from the community will be able to follow you in one click. So yeah, all good. Thanks again, Limone, for
Cool.
everything, and yeah, don't hesitate to ask any question on DevTupac Club, because Limone is also on the DevTupac Club with another expert on Minias. All right.
Cool.
Thanks again, and
Thank you.
happy day or good night and whatever. Yeah. Bye bye everyone. Thank
Bye
you.
everyone. Ciao,
Just
ciao.